Okay, this is part 2 of a known series about the radio. Now, in part 1 I described the radio briefly. This was actually all supposed to be done with Mark's help. We had a bit of a problem whereby my video recording went on a bit longer than 10 minutes and we couldn't redo it really. We'd already took the radio apart and set it all back up again, so we figured that the best thing we can do is just to basically attempt to go back and cover it all again in my own style with a webcam video, which is what this is. So let's talk about now the bag that the radio came in. Now the whole thing, the radio is modular. That being, it comes in various pieces. There's a hand generator, you can get a battery for it and other such niceties. Now we didn't have the battery, as Mark will explain in the later videos that we took with the phone when my mum was doing camera work. I want to thank her for helping with that. We had the hand generator. That is all we had. So that is why it took so long to do anything with it, was because of the hand generator. We had to put that on and set up the whip. Now the whip is approximately 10 foot long, all told. And it fits onto what they call a gooseneck, which fits onto the side of the radio into what they call the turf. Now the turf is a tuning unit device. I can't remember what turf stands for now. But it's something to do with the aerial. And it's an antenna tuning unit, which basically means that electrically it makes the aerial longer or shorter depending on obviously what kind of turf it is. I think this one makes it longer. It's very complicated, so I won't go into what all that means, but if you don't use the right length of aerial, strange things can happen. It actually can be quite dangerous for probably you and the radio, but I think that's only if you're using a lot of power. But as I say, the turf is where the aerial connects to, the whip. Now normally you would connect standard aerials to a different part of the radio. You take the turf connections off and you can connect standard antennas to it if you're using it vehicular, if you've got it on a car or a truck or whatever, a Jeep. We'll say a Jeep. And basically the way it works is that it allows you to put the antenna into this special gooseneck so you can position it to get maximum usage. Now it's all variant upon you know, various aspects of the system. As I say, the radio can be carried in various ways, either with a thing called a Bergen, or it can be carried on your back in a rucksack, which is what we did, which is what Mark does. The weight of said radio is approximately 24 pounds in weight. Damn heavy. Once you get it on your rucksack, I mean the rucksack is built in such a way that it's actually very, very pleasant when you're carrying it on your back. Believe it or not, it's actually quite comfortable to carry. Hard to believe, isn't it? But it is. It's very, very comfortable to carry this thing on your back. So, as Mark says in the next piece of the video, where we start to install the radio, we need a power supply. And this power supply we're going to use is a generator, a hand cranked generator. Now you might be thinking to yourself, well, how the hell are you going to do that? Well, you can. And in some cases you absolutely have to, because there's no choice. You've got nothing else that you can use with it. So you have to use the hand crank generator because it's the easiest way to, you know, to get the thing to work. If you've got nothing else, you're in the middle of the desert, say, and you have nothing left other than a hand crank. What are you supposed to do? Not an awful lot. It's not easy. you've got to use this thing, and it's kind of important to understand that it's hard going, as you'll see on one of these videos. I think it's part 3 or part 4 actually. It'll be about part 4 by the time this one gets, because this is actually part 2. So Mark's reference to part 2 is actually referring to part 3, which is actually the first of the live videos from the day. I'm sorry that this has happened the way it has, but technical issues and time limits and various things like that just kind of get in the way and spoil things. But don't let that spoil your enjoyment of these videos, people, because I'm enjoying this immensely. Actually using my Mac to do a video, this is new to me, so if I get it wrong, sorry, basically. You might be able to see some random stuff in the video. You can see my other PC over there in the background. You can see the desktop on that. I've got that running, uploading another YouTube video, so I can upload them from the Mac, but I'm taking them over to the PC because everything else is up there that I need. So for everybody who's watching this, bear with me. These are going to take a bit of getting uploaded, but I'm hoping that you guys enjoy these, because I certainly am enjoying putting them together. And what we'll now do is we'll take you over now to what we're going to call part 3. Mark referred to it as part 2. And then we will give you more information as we go. We get a bit of history involved in the radio on the latter parts, so you get to know a lot more about this thing, and you get to see it running. And we do explain what we're doing as best we can. I think you'll find it interesting. So if anybody's got any questions, please don't hesitate to drop me a comment. I'll be quite happy to to do comments. So if anybody has any comments, please don't hesitate to contact me, and I will be quite happy to answer any questions there that you may have. So I'm now going to sign off, because I'm aware this video is quite long, so I will now sign off, and hopefully I will speak to you all fairly soon on part 3. Part 3, as I said, is where Mark gets involved and he explains about the radio as he's putting it together. I want to thank my mum for helping me with the camera work for part 3, and I think part 4. I did the camera work for part 5, so it might not be as good as the others, but we've got our best. We've done our best with it. So, as I say, anybody's got any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. As I say, rate, subscribe, enjoy. This is Christian signing out for part 2.